This was the scene on Iwo Jima in February of 1945. 70,000 U.S. Marines attacking this tiny but strategic island in the Pacific Ocean, and about 20,000 well-armed Japanese soldiers striking back. Sam Billison was one of the Marines who invaded Iwo Jima.
I was with the 5th Marine Reconnaissance Company. The third or fourth day we landed on the island and joined our companies, and I remember that message coming through that the United States flag going up on Suribachi.
He fought the Japanese from a foxhole with guns and grenades, but he also had another secret mission that few other Marines knew about, to relay specially coded messages from the battlefield in his native tongue, Navajo.
The Japanese attack with grenades, like how would you say that?
We would say, Benada Soze Achiche Bish Namasi.
Billison was part of an elite group of about 400 Navajo Indians in the Marines during World War II, called the Navajo Code Talkers. Their mission? To radio secret messages between the front lines and the military commanders.
So the Japanese could actually hear you
Yes.
giving this code, but they never understood it.
I guess not. The Japanese was deciphering every American code that was used, and the Navajo code was top secret throughout the war, and even a lot of Marines didn't know about it.
Many of the code talkers grew up here in Arizona on the Navajo reservation, and they spoke Navajo with their families, but very few people outside of the Navajo community understood the language because it was never formally written down.
When Sam Billison was very young, he learned the Navajo language while growing up in a one-room home called a hogan on this remote farm.
This is what I used for my bed. All my younger days, I slept on these things, and this is a sheep skin, and that's a goat skin.
So how many people would live in one of these at once?
A lot of times, the whole family, maybe his father and mother and 3 or 4 kids.
During his senior year of high school, Billison decided to join the Marines after watching movies about war.
I saw a lot of movies, John Wayne and all these Marine pictures, and I always wanted to be one of them.
He went off to boot camp and was later assigned to a communications school. At the time, Billison didn't realize that the Marines were preparing him for a position with the Code Talkers.
The captain and I got in the Jeep, and he drove me to one of the barracks. And there I saw nothing but Navajos, young Navajos, and I guess about 2 companies, and they were all training to learn this Navajo code. It's all in your head so that Japanese could intercept those things.
The Navajos created the code themselves and made sure that other Navajos wouldn't be able to understand their messages.
What is the difference between the Navajo language and the Navajo code?
If I say Namasi in Navajo language, it's potatoes, and they'll give me potatoes. And during the war, and I'd say Namasi, they'll give me hand grenades. That's the difference.
The first time the Code Talkers were used in battle was at Guadalcanal in the Pacific in 1942. There, the Navajos proved themselves to be a reliable and effective communications team.
As the war went on, from island to island, the Navajo code got more specific, more correct. Messages were sent faster, and by the time at Iwo Jima, it was real fast and no mistakes.
In the eyes of U.S. military commanders, the Code Talkers became a big advantage in the war. In some cases, the Navajos were actually a decisive factor in the outcome of a battle, like Iwo Jima.
A major in the Marine Corps made a statement that if it weren't for the Navajo Code Talkers, we would not have taken Iwo Jima.
How does that make you feel?
I never knew the magnitude of the things that we did. Never realized that we were special or that we contributed that much in the war.